The fabulous Late Martin Kelner Show may contain adult material and language that some listeners could find offensive. Martin Kelner's Best Bits on Mansfield 103.2.
Meanwhile, songs for pensioners. Don't stand so close to me. Hope I make it through the night. Hit me with your walking stick. I'm not claiming any credit for these. I found all these on the internet. It's one of those sort of idle weeks, nothing else to do. Do Fear the Reaper, which is a little bit spooky, isn't it? Well, here we come to one of the most popular, in as much as anything could be said to be popular in the show, one of the most popular portions, where we look at some of the stories appearing in the local newspapers. Here's a lovely one. A drunken Shirebrook teenager. We won't give the names. That's the kind of tasteful people we are. We won't give the names. But interestingly enough, this guy actually shares his name with a TV personality. Bizarre. A drunken Shirebrook teenager put his boot through a supermarket window in a fit of rage, a court was told on Monday. Apparently, they'd run out of sun-dried tomatoes. He was mad. This man, who has the same name as a well-known television personality, so we won't give his name, we'll call him Noel Edmonds. Noel Edmonds had been drinking for 3 hours and shared 6 litres of cider with his brother. He told the court, I'd been drinking and I got angry. Not only had they run out of sun-dried tomatoes, they had no stuffed olives. I like the little one stuck. No, I'm only joking, he didn't say that. He said, I got angry and I kicked out the window. District Judge John Friel adjourned sentence while Edmonds it's not really his name, he's not really Noel Edmonds, because he doesn't live in Shirebrook, lives in Ravenshead. District Judge John Friel adjourned sentence while just near Cuckney. Adjourned sentence. See, I've learned all the place names now. Ravenshead, Clipstone, Cuckney, no more. What was I saying? Yeah, he adjourned sentence while Edmonds is assessed for his suitability to undergo an alcohol treatment programme. Judge, he's suitable. 6 litres of cider. If you don't qualify with how the hell do you qualify? 6 litres of cider, come on. I'll play one especially for Shirebrook, where it's never closing time. Not if you got 6 litres of cider. Great story there about Noel Edmonds. Which is obviously not his real name. That was Leonard Cohen. It would have come as a surprise to some of you to find that Leonard Cohen didn't only make Hallelujah, did lots of other stuff as well. And that was Closing Time. Right, now, what a phenomenon, a magazine phenomenon, the comic Viz. It emerged out of the northeast of England 30 years ago, almost exactly, just 10 years before the fall of the Berlin Wall. What an amazing coincidence that is. And I'm delighted to say, on the line, we have Chris Donald, who more or less invented Viz and many of the characters. Chris, good evening to you.
Good evening, Martin. Good evening.
You all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
And, of course, Newcastle in festive mood, celebrating 100 years of Viz. Did it surprise you, the huge success the magazine had?
It was such a gradual thing. Initially, it surprised me when it became a success in Newcastle. It sort of reached the sort of level of success it got nationally in Newcastle about 5 years before it did it nationally. So it was a surprise at first in Newcastle, but then when it took off nationally, we were too sort of busy drawing cartoons to notice, really. Yeah.
Which characters did you do? I mean, I said earlier on you did Billy the Fish, the Fat Slags, Roger Melly. Would that be right?
I can't remember any of the characters anymore. No, I didn't do the Fat Slags. I vociferously deny doing them. I was actually sort of there when we wrote them. I was there when they were invented. Right. There was 4 of us invented them. And Graham, Dury and Simon Thorpe have done them ever since. To death, you could say. But,
yes, you're not a fan of the Fat Slags.
I don't like the Fat Slags, really. No, I mean, when I was still editor, I stopped being editor in 1999. We had actually dropped them. They'd slipped away unnoticed. They hadn't been in the comic for 6 months, and then some silly cow at The Guardian or somewhere did some sort of article about how the Fat Slags were sort of not funny and everything. And why on earth she did it, I don't know. And so Graham and Thorpe immediately said, hey, the Fat Slags, they're newsworthy again, let's dig them out. And they've been going ever since, I'm afraid. But I did sort of Roger Melly and in the early days, I did sort of about 60% of the characters in the comic, but that was the very early days.
You always used to, because you were sort of taking the mickey out of, well, not taking the mickey out, but it was an affectionate tip of the hat to things like Dandy and Beano and Rover and all those other comics. You did a lot of characters that were rhyming character, like Johnny. I mean, you told me once you had a character called Johnny Porterhouse. His dad's got a slaughterhouse.
Did we?
You told me that.
Yes, I'm sure we did. It just was a question of thinking of a name that rhymed sometimes. or somebody that had a stupid thing that they could they have an adventure with. I think the lowest it got was Brian's Bannister, and there was Miss Demeanor and her concertina, which were scraping the bottom of the barrel. That would have been in the mid-80s.
Yeah. And I mean, the top tips are obviously the thing that the tabloids like to quote, don't they? I noticed there was a few sort of tributes to 30 years of Viz, and people immediately did the top tips. What percentage of those were sent in by readers, and what percentage did you just sort of kick them around the office?
It would be about 50-50 probably, but of the ones that the readers sent in, we would have to edit them quite severely because they would have an idea but they couldn't sort of phrase it properly, and so you'd get a lot from readers that you had to rewrite, but about half of them were from the readers and then half of them we'd make up ourselves. I think that changed in favour of the readers eventually when people got the hang of it, but there was a handful of readers who were responsible for an enormous number of them. There was a bloke, Hapag Lloyd he was called, who sent in loads. He was very very productive, and there was another bloke in Northumberland from Thropton whose name escapes me at the minute. I think he was called John Tate.
John Tate, I remember that.
And he used to send in an awful lot, about 6 an issue, and they would all go in because he sort of had the hang of it.
Yeah, one of my favourites is employers avoid hiring unlucky people by immediately tossing half the CVs into the bin, which actually works, doesn't it?
It would do, yes.
Yeah.
Some of them were very clever. They were bordering on practical, yeah.
Yeah, that one certainly is. Now, you, as you said, gave it up in 1999 and took your millions. And I have to say, normally we phone people up, to get them on the show. And so we say, I'll just go and get him. He's in the other room. And it takes about 10 seconds, and then the person's on the phone. Your maidservant said to me, I'll just go and get him, and I just heard footsteps and doors clanging and and dogs barking, the Hound of the Baskervilles and all that, and sort of 20 minutes later you're down at the phone. So you've obviously the rewards have been great, but do you miss the actual day-to-day sort of drawing the cartoons and things?
Not really, no. I'm in the West Wing, that's why it took so long to get me. We live in an old hotel and we still have the switchboard, so she eventually put the call through to the West Wing where I am.
Yeah.
But no, I don't miss the day-to-day at all. It was the day-to-day bit that I got completely sick up to the back teeth with. It was the sort of idea of going in every morning or when you just finished the comic, having to go in and start another one all over again. And you were covering the same ground, and it really was becoming a bit repetitive. Yeah,
I was wondering if you missed the camaraderie. I'm just thinking of Robbie Williams. I know it's a strange leap from yourself to Robbie Williams, but when he split up with Take That, he always said, "Oh, that's it." I hated all that, and I hated everything to do with Take That. And I think John Lennon was a bit the same with the Beatles. And they sort of missed the camaraderie and the fact that they were all in it together. And they'd had this tremendous rise to fame together, and then of course, split up artistic differences, whatever. Do you not miss the, being there with the guys?
Well, I still see them. It's not like I'm completely out of touch with them. I haven't done a Robbie Williams and sort of fallen out with them. No. I sort of see them on a regular... Whenever anyone dies that we all know, I see them at the funerals. That's the pattern that we're following at the minute. But no, I do see them quite a bit. They had a 30th anniversary party, and I'm having a bit of a party as well for the 30th anniversary, and we're getting invited to each other's parties and stuff. But, I've done occasional cartoons for them as well. So, I'm still doing cartoons, but the camaraderie, as it were, I don't know what it was like for the Beatles or for Take That, but, we just sat around drinking tea and eating biscuits and not saying much.
Yes.
It wasn't exactly a sort of a wild party.
No, they couldn't make a documentary out like they did about the Beatles going across America. Really, it'd be pretty dull. Chris, bless you. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and bless you for inventing Viz.
Oh, thanks so much.
Which I'm still cutting bits out of all these years later, which is rather sad on my part. But anyway, well done, and I look forward to seeing you at your party.
Yes, okie doke.
All right, all the best, Chris. Right. Thank you very much indeed.
Bye.
Chris Donald there, speaking from
Martin
the West
Kelner's
Wing.
Best Bids on Mansfield 103.2.
I think he owns Northumberland, basically.
Martin Kelner's Best Bids on Mansfield 103.2.
We've got homemade jingles. Homemade, just like Mother used to make, ladies and gentlemen.
One for all and all for one. Martin Kelner is still Bobbins. One for all and all for one. His future's behind him. One for all and all for one. Even so they signed him. So he's here for everyone. Lucky, lucky you. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. He's only been put on air. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. 'cause his kids need new footwear. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. The poor chap's got to cope with all his kids' demands. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. Although this load of tosh, sha-la-la, sha-la-la, is not worth that much dosh. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. So in fact no money has exchanged hands. One for all and all for one. Martin Kelner is still bobbins. One for all and all for one. Dozens can't be wrong now. One for all and all for one. Join this merry throng now. Mansfield's never had such fun on 103.2.
Yeah, not strictly accurate. Brilliant. Those are the Zombies, and she's not there on Mansfield 103.2. My delight now to link up with London, with NW3, and the man who knows exactly, he's got his finger on the pulse of everything that's happening with the chattering classes in London. Let's get a glimpse into his glamorous life. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Rising. Paul, good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Mansfield. Good evening, Bolsover. Good evening, Ashfield.
Yes, Ashfield. Well done. You could have Ravenshead.
Ravenshead. These places are like names in Middle Earth, aren't they?
Cuckney.
Cuckney,
yeah.
Cuckney. What a vision that conjures up.
Lovely.
On a Saturday night.
It's a beautiful place. Don't forget Shirebrook. You'll be familiar with the colliery at Shirebrook, won't you? From
Shirebrook,
the old days.
The name rings a distant bell.
Yeah.
But Ashfield, that just does it for me. Ashfield.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. So, Paul, we're all enjoying ourselves here, drinking and kicking in windows of supermarkets. What's going on in NW3?
Oh, I don't know. I've had a rather exhausting week, really.
Oh, yeah.
One day this week, Wednesday, I believe, I took 8 trains.
Wow.
8 trains I had to go to Crowthorne in Berkshire for family reasons that needn't
no, they won't
detain
say
us here. But 8 trains, imagine it.
8 trains? Why 8 trains to Berkshire? It's like it's part of London.
Tube trains, change at King's Cross for somewhere else.
Don't you have a man to drive you these places?
I look for him everywhere, but I'm going to sack him when he reappears.
So you should. Now, I know you're a bit of a connoisseur of fine dining, and I did cut out of Chad, which is the local paper in Mansfield.
Chad, did you say?
Chad. C-H-A-D. Chad.
Oh, Chad.
Chad.
The little hangy things that caused so much trouble at the last United States, well, the one before, when George Bush. Hanging chads. Hanging chads,
yeah.
Chad, that's a strange word.
Well, it's a sort of combination of Chronicle and Advertiser. They've put it together because at some point in the distant past, the Mansfield Chronicle took over the Mansfield Advertiser or vice versa, and they merged the papers because it's very hard to keep even one local paper going, let alone 2.
Well, I suppose it's better than Advernickel.
Yes, I think it worked better than Advernickel. And in Chad, there's an advert here for the award-winning Sea Queen Fisheries. Great fish and chips. Or, if you fancy something different, doner kebab, chicken kebab, pies, steak and kidney, chicken or beef and onion, spicy southern fried chicken, curry, southern fried, curry, wide range of drinks, oven fresh jacket potatoes with a selection of fillings, including cheese, coleslaw, beans and tuna mayo.
Oh, stop it, you're making my mouth water.
For just £1.70.
£1.70 for all that?
Extra, well, I think you just get one filling.
I see.
And then extra fillings, 40p each. Don't be greedy, Paul. Plus, our specials board. Here are 3 of them. Mini fish and chips and peas. Brackets mornings only.
Mornings only.
£2.99. Kids special. Sausage or fish cake. Chips, peas plus drink. £1.70. I always find it's important to get as many E-additives into them at as young an age as possible.
Yes.
It livens them up a bit. I find they sit round, if they've not had one of those orange drinks that you get in fish and chip shops, one of the violently orange drinks.
Yes, one of the colour that you never see in nature.
Yeah, they're always a little bit, do you know what I mean, a little bit sluggish.
Yes.
Those things tend to liven them up a bit.
Well, I dare say that's the sort of thing that goes on in the north of England,
yes.
But, round here...
Wait, if your mouth's watering, Paul, wait till you hear the final one from the special sport.
Oh, yes.
All day and night combo meal. Chips, salad, doner meat, chicken meat, 3 onion rings.
free onion rings.
Three. No, not free.
Three
onion rings. That's £4.20 for the all-day and night combo meal.
Yes, it's the use of the word meat that's so unattractive.
See, you should move up here, Paul. You'd love it. And
I really don't think I should be paying that particular establishment a visit. Fine and dandy as I'm sure it is.
Well, if instead you fancy going a little bit further north to Doncaster...
No, I don't want to go anywhere north. I don't really want to go north of Potter's Bar if I can help it.
No, that's true. So you've had an exhausting week. You've been on 8 trains.
I've been reading... I've started reading the biography of Winston Churchill by... a very fine biography by Roy Jenkins.
Oh, yeah.
Who is a historian as well as a...
He's no longer with us, is he, Roy Jenkins?
I feel he's no longer with us.
No, he's dead.
In fact, we're having a discussion about another character who it turns out is no longer... We were having a discussion about Jim Callaghan in the pub the other day.
Oh, no, he died.
And I hadn't remembered that he died, so I was fairly sure he was alive.
No, he's not. Well, here, I'll test you on some names to see if people who you're not quite sure they're alive or dead. Duncan Norvell.
Never heard of him.
Oh, he was Duncan Norvell. Chase Me.
Oh, okay. I can't. Oh, I see what you mean.
He's a comedian. Duncan Chase Me Norvell.
Well, alive.
Well, he is, because the hilarious Duncan Chase Me Norvell plays Buttons in Cinderella at the Doncaster Civic.
Heavens, another reason to race up to Doncaster.
Yeah. So
anyway, I must just tell you why I was reading this biography of Churchill, and he was in 1900 or 1901 or something. He was doing a speaking tour of the United States, talking about his experiences in India or South Africa, it may have been. And he was introduced at one of these on stage at one of these very crowded theatres that he filled by none other than Mark Twain.
Blimey.
And Winston Churchill and Mark Twain are not two people you ever think of as being coexistent.
No. Well, around here, people just think of Churchill as the dog on the insurance outfit.
Well, I know.
Yes.
I'm trying to, raise the tone a little and, help people.
Paul, it's a fascinating story.
Is that it?
That has to be it.
All right.
Simply because we're hard up against an advertising break.
Oh, well. And I know how important they are.
They certainly are. Paul, bless you.
Bless you, Mansfield. Bless you, Ashfield. Bless you, the other place whose name escapes me.
Paul, thank you very much, Nick. We'll talk again next week.
God bless you all.
This is an interesting story here. It was in one of the papers this week. Some woman got an ASBO. She was having loud sex, and she said that giving her an ASBO for that breached her human rights. According to the Sun newspaper, Caroline Cartwright, 48. I think you're still having loud sex at 48. That's not bad. So there's an old geezer down our street. He's still having sex at 74. He lives at 72, so that's a bit... Anyway, it's another Tony Blackburn one there from 1937. A woman, she got this ASBO, right, for having loud sex. Caroline Cartwright, 48. She'd been barred from screaming while romping. Only in the sun do people romp. Nobody else romps. What were you doing? I said, I was romping with them. Yeah, we were romping. That's what we were doing. So anyway, she was romping with hubby Steve, but neighbours complained in Concord, Tyne-and-Wear. She made a lot of noise. Oh, that's bloody great. Oh, that's great, pet. I love that, pet. Oh, more of that, pet. I love it. Anyway, so she was doing that, but, even louder than that, to be honest. And she argued she had a right to respect, but Newcastle Crown...
Martin Kelner's Best Bids on Mansfield 103.2.
So there you are. It's upheld.
Martin Kelner's Best Bids on Mansfield 103.2.
Reviving the days of free love and all that stuff. Flower power and everything. All those hippie days. Bet you remember all that, Dora, eh?
Yeah, well, of course I was.
Yes.
These days, you can remember the 60s.
Yes.
It's probably because you got Polaroids.
Yes, that's right. And, of course, you kept all those Polaroids, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did, mate.
Yeah.
Had them laminated. Do you want to have a look? 50p a go.
Yeah, it's a good job you had them laminated. Ladies and gentlemen, on Mansfield 103.2, you're listening to the one and only Dora Dale.
She's an elderly dear. Yeah. Yes, Dora Dale.
How's your evening?
Yes.
And tender, though she's small and wiry. Brace yourselves, it's time for Dora Dale's diary. But for goodness sake, don't check the expiry date.
Well, Dora, it's a pleasure once more to be talking to you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure, Dora.
Yeah. What oral discourse.
A little bit of oral discourse. Excellent.
Martin.
Yes.
Of course, this week, it's a time for very sombre reflection.
That's right, Dora.
time to think very carefully and soberly.
Yes, that's right.
About one thing.
Absolutely.
What would you do if you won 45 million quid?
Well, now that's interesting, isn't it? Because they won 45 million on the lottery, Euro lottery.
On the Euro lottery, which sounds like it's sort of something to do with urine.
The Euro lottery, yes, it does. It does. You're right.
Like urogenital.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Malformation.
Yeah, obviously. It's spelled differently, of course. But,
of course,
yes. But
what would you do with 45 million pounds, Martin?
What would I do with 45 million pounds? I would go into a service station on the motorway and buy any sandwich I wanted. 2 if I wanted. And a crunchy.
Deep fill. Never mind. You would ignore the meal deal.
I would ignore the meal deal.
You would go off-piste.
I would completely go off-piste. I wouldn't care less about the meal deal. They could take the meal deal and stick it up there where the sun don't shine.
That's amazing.
Yes.
You're a renegade. Do you know what I do?
What?
I buy 45 million scratch cards.
Yes, what a great idea, Dora. Yeah. Fantastic.
Then you could win big.
Well, win big.
I'll tell you someone who's going to be buying 350,000 scratch cards, of course.
Who's that?
Is Jordan Katie Price.
Jordan Katie Price, what's she done?
Because, Matt, here we are on the eve of I'm a Celebrity.
Oh, it's starting soon, isn't it?
What's my leg for? Sunday night?
Sunday night, yeah.
I, of course, will be locked to Mansfield 103.2 FM. No, literally chained to the radiator.
You will be
there.
locked.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the DJ. Is it Mick something on a Sunday night?
Yeah, I think it is.
He bought me for the night.
He's bought you for the night?
200 quid, and I said he could take me to the radiator if he wanted.
Yeah, well, I think he will want to do that.
But I don't kiss, Martin.
You don't kiss?
No.
Why not, Dora?
I would for 45 million. Well, I don't kiss because it's boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could be getting on with other things.
Well, that's true, Dora, that's true. Yeah. And indeed you have done over the years, haven't you?
That's true. Do you want to ask me about a celebrity?
Yeah, let me ask you about a celebrity, Dora.
Okay.
I know many, many years ago you knew Charlie Drake.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yes, I did. For a while he was going to work with Arthur Mullard.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But they thought 2 people with names similar to a duck just wouldn't work, really.
Arthur Mullard and Charlie Drake, yeah.
So Charlie Drake was a nice guy, but...
he was.
He always
small.
What?
Small, he was tiny, little small guy. Yeah.
Yes, I once... he came to see me play netball as a demonstration game with Diana Dorth, and I was running backwards to catch the ball, and I tripped and I fell on him.
Oh, dear.
And, well, he just disappeared from sight.
Yeah, but he would.
2 or 3 months later, I went for my regular gynecology exam.
Yeah.
And blow me, there was Charlie Drake.
Well, that's a lovely story, that, Dora.
You're welcome.
Bless you for that.
Yeah.
Dora,
how's the show going generally, though?
It's going very, very well. It's getting extremely popular. I'm becoming a cult.
You've always been.
Yes. Dora, we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, I go.
Thank you very much indeed, Dora.
Bye, darling.
Bless you. Bye. Dora Dale.
But you can't ignore it. The crowd keep coming back for
Keep coming back.
Can't get enough.
The fabulous late Martin Kelner Show.
And that's it for tonight.
The fabulous late Martin Kelner Show.